What's going on? So this is going to be the review of the film Rocket Man. I had to go to the world premiere last night. Taron Egerton did an incredible job. Now they're going to be comparisons with Bohemian Rhapsody, and rightfully so. I mean, you're going to be dealing with two prominent acts, British musicians and acts that were huge. Came out in the 70s, late 60s or 70s, and peak prime, etc., etc. With that, you'll see a lot of similarities between with the Elton John and Freddie Mercury story. But besides from being piano musician prodigies, dysfunctional families, the drugs, the sex, drugs, rock and roll, and the politics, the music business, and there's a lot of those similarities. However, the Elton John film is a little bit different because it takes on a musical theatrics, but also, unlike the Freddie Mercury story, the scenario with Elton John was that he was never loved and accepted by his mother or father. It was like never wanted, and he always was looking for love, looking for acceptance, and along with his orientation, trying to find him his identity. However, his musical chops were there from the get go. I mean, he had an ear, and he could see symphonies. He could do concerto. He could do the whole nine. Got his first big break on the soul circuit, backing up Patti LaBelle. And then the story is that he also played with the Ozzy Brothers at a particular time. So he got his opportunity in there. And, you know, but the thing about it is when you watch the film, there are parts they go back and forth because it was great the relationship with him and Bernie Taupin, which they formed one of the most dynamic songwriting partnerships ever. So that was pretty powerful in all the great songs. But then you see the highs and the lows, and he was always looking for a high, and he always was getting used and abused, be it within his parents, be it with his managers. People were just taking him for granted, and so he put on an act and a facade. However, he went through a lot of charades with different situations, and so um, this film gets him to finally peace at it within himself. And he's been married and he has children and he's, as well as he can be. But there's a message of that second chances, discovering yourself, finding yourself. So, unlike with Queen's situation with Freddie Mercury, who eventually, before he passed, he found love, etc., and he had to go through different things. There was differences because Elton John's story just is really like a bad Jerry Springer situation gone wrong, and it's very troubling for those who are not familiar with his life story. But if you just concentrate on the performances, Egerton did a fantastic job on stage and recreating the theatrics of what Elton John, because to see Elton John in his prime with the glasses and the outfits and the outrageous, but he was a performance and the guy could straight out play. And he truly versatile musician, a lot of depth, and the choreography was sensational in this. This is something like a part Greatest Showman on Earth meets Bohemian Rhapsody, but it does with Elton John. And Elton John always had the theatrics and the twists and turns and the plots. However, it's definitely worth checking out. It's going to be a subject matters that will be pretty intense, and I would say that when you watch it, just kind of keep open mind with it because again, there's a lot of different nuances that's going on with this film. However, Rocket Man was definitely worth checking out. And then again, and like I said before, in the man's music catalog, I did another video about it. It's probably only about, I would say, at most 50 artists I can think of where you can go songs deep. I'm not saying 5, 10. I'm talking about songs deep. He's got that kind of catalog and kind of career and that body of work and his talent. I mean, the guy, very soulful singer, incredible songwriter, had great arrangements, production, and was a strong stage performer. So he definitely checked all the boxes, and you understand why he's considered music royalty. But then when you see this film, you'll have more compassion and understanding about what he went through on the personal side, business side, before and after, with fame and everything, and sex, drugs, rock and roll, the whole nine. So again, in this film, it could win some awards. It was very deep Very profound statement. And some people might say, well, how come you make a movie while you're alive? Well, I say, well, you know what? If you got great artists, give them their roses while they're alive. Tell them what they matter. And he definitely fits that bill. As a knighted artist back in England, Sir Elton John, but just as in general. And he's given a lot. And this film, like I said, it'll show different sides of him, the tantrums, the antics, and so on and so forth. But then, there's heart at the end of the movie. And it really makes it very compassionate. It's very one of those stories that it was well done. And it's definitely a must see film. Very, very powerful film. Those 2 hours go by pretty fast too, because you sit up in there and there's a lot to surmise. And again, they didn't really have it all in order because the songs were here and there, but it's definitely a film I would recommend to check out. So that's my take about Rocket Man, the Elton John life story. Feel free to leave comments, hit that like button, and subscribe when the bell rings. That is a new video. Have a good day. And Elton John is still standing, so respect it. Give those roses. All right.